about to go to a dinner in downtown with my friend, and I am putting these gold under eye masks on because I realized yesterday when I was in the store that I had some really poofy eyes, kind of these dark bags under my eyes. Did my nails last night, so that's what's going on now. I loved being a tourist in my own city. It's hard to believe that I've lived here for 6 years and there's so many areas and gemstones I don't know about. We were in the Presidential Hilton and it was so nice and fancy. We had some really good food, pecan pie and coffee, and then explored the rest of the city. It was so nice to just walk around downtown and to be out there when the Chiefs game had just finished, and so there was so much red in the air. I think that was something very lovely too, of feeling this solidarity and this community within Kansas City. It's a city that I've come to love, and I enjoyed the privilege of being able just to wander around. We walked some and then drove some, and even to see the building lit up. Chiefs win, Chiefs win, and the red lights everywhere. Just, it felt so lovely. I think there's also something really calming about being in a place where you can just watch the cars go by when there's so many connections and so many roads and different places that you can go. It's relaxing and calming in a way. Yesterday I made cauliflower rice. I had this cauliflower that was going to go bad, so I looked up a recipe and realized it was super easy. You just cut up cauliflower and put it in this food processor. Mine is one that you use your hand to crank manually, and that's all it is. Pretty simple. You can eat it raw, you can cook it. I actually ended up freezing mine because I'm not sure I have that many meals before I leave for out of town. So I'm just kind of showing you the process, but it's easy peasy and a great way to substitute if you're trying to go carb free, if you're trying to cut down on rice and sugary type foods. Another project I tried to do was to create a tool roll for my tools at work. So this is a leather-like material. Not quite sure exactly what it is, but it took a long time to get the trim figured out. I didn't film any of that, but now this is the pocket making process, which I had already decided which size shapes to make. This was the trim around, which is really difficult because the piece that we used was a little bit too small for the whole thing. But I'll take it to work and see if they actually fit my tools. That's just my little mock-up of what I had at home. Everyone's favorite word, deconstructing. It's been almost a year since the shock that prompted me to quit what I was doing and look for a new job, and everything that happened this last year. It's interesting because there was so much information and so much cognitive dissonance at the beginning that the mind was not computing. And now, almost a year later, hearing people in various stages of deconstructing, of reflecting, of hindsight being 2020, it's been really thought-provoking. Another thing I've been thinking a lot about is the age of AI, and thinking about technology and values and what I'm living for. So I've just been spending some time outside, just getting the sunshine, just thinking, not in a rush, not in a hurry, collecting my thoughts. It's okay. I think it's really worthwhile to reassess and evaluate, where am I going? Why am I going where I'm going? Just kind of consider. And I was talking to someone this week, who's 77 and had studied to be a priest in a monastery, then left the monastery and didn't go to church, didn't set foot for 25 years. Then he, at his daughter's request, went back, and that was 40 years ago. So I think everybody's journey just looks different. I just know so many people, so many different life stages, so many different experiences with so many pain points, and different people have different pain points, and different people have, it's just different. And I think the way my mind works is because it is so perspective driven, like, let me hear your perspective, let me understand where you're coming from. It's a lot to take in, and I think I have to look at my own experiences. I wrote a whole page down, just kind of reflecting on things that didn't quite make sense in the last couple years, in the last 6 years, but now, with what I know now, looking back, those loose pieces are more connected. And I think that it's just a really humbling journey. I am so grateful for my life and for what I have, and just watching everybody else kind of pick up the pieces of their life, because the life that me and most of my community had was very disrupted. And I made changes relatively early on that were more abrupt and shocking, more immediate, more like on and off, yes and no. And other people, I think it's been more slow and more gradual. And I think, again, everyone has a different pace, a different response, and a different goal and direction. So that's just where I'm at, just kind of in a more contemplative, reflective mode. And I just want to say it's okay that disillusionment, unmet expectations, disappointments, unfulfilled desires, not preferred or desired outcomes, failures, rejections, pain, questions, confusion, those are all things that the Lord gives us, and He's after making us in His image. He's after maturing us. He's after our trust and our love. And while all these things are difficult, I just want to say it's okay. I don't have the answers, but God does. And that's where I put my confidence. It's not easy, and I think something that I've been learning as well is just to take it one day at a time, because life is made out of little moments. And I think the last 6 years have been just these crazy mountaintop. I mean, yes, people talk about the mundane and the drudgery, but there were quite a few mountaintop experiences that were shiny and were beautiful, and I had such a privilege to be so integral in many of them. So I just want to say it's okay, and to just bring the Lord into your pain, bring the Lord into your questions, bring the Lord into where you're at. You don't have to be somewhere for him to be with you.